I want to welcome everyone for this exciting launch of something I basically have been thinking about for over a year now, because I was supposed to go to Africa in March of 2020. And of course, everybody knows why I didn't get to go on that. So I have been thinking about, I've wanted to plan something to go to Africa myself. It's been on my wish list forever. So Sandy and I, as she said, she and I have been working together and laughing together and putting this all in place, and we want to launch it tonight. But I thought it would be nice for people, if you want to dream, if you're not ready, that's okay, but it'll be nice to dream about what the possibilities are. So in case you don't know who I am, I'm Lisa from Travelex International, and this is Sandy, and she has her team with her, Amy and Allison, if you want to wave. Amy and Allison are going to be monitoring the chat box as we go along. So if you want to type questions in the chat box at the bottom, she'll answer those, but we'll read them out loud at the end as well, in case someone, didn't get their questions answered. They may not have thought about that. So we'll read them at the end. And I'm going to turn it over now to Sandy, and she's going to take us on a wonderful journey to Africa.
Okay, great. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Sandy. I own Hills of Africa Travel. We are a boutique little agency. We specialize in very customized experiences. We put a lot of time and effort into getting to know you. And Lisa and I work collaboratively together. We've worked together for a very long time, and we certainly do enjoy what we do and have a lot of laughs. But I think what's so special about Lisa and Travelex International is that they really get to know their clients. And so it's so helpful to us when we work with Lisa and with you to plan a trip to Africa, because we get to know your likes, your dislikes. Dislikes are really important to us. So it helps us to really get to know you, to understand what you want, and to put a really customized experience together where you go to Africa and you come back and your heart is just melting and you've got goosebumps. So that's what we love doing. We love really getting to show you Africa. Little bit about me. I am Zimbabwean, from Zimbabwe, born and raised. My family all still lives there. I really wanted to go back to Africa when I was just shortly after arriving in the United States. I was working as a secretary in London, and my husband was like, there's not a chance. We are not going anywhere near Africa. We are staying here in the United States. So what did I do? I founded Hills of Africa Travel so that I could pretend that I was in Africa every single day. And I think I really have the best of both worlds. I get to live in this beautiful, beautiful country, United States. I live in North Carolina, and I get to work with fabulous, fabulous people like Lisa. So my life is so glorious. I get to go to Africa every year, and I get to work with you. So let's get started. Please ask questions. Raise your hand, shout. Lisa and I want this to be an evening where we get to share about Africa, but we also get to have fun and let you guys ask questions. That's what it's all about. It's not all about Lisa and I talking all night long. So, Lisa, do you want to share a little bit about why we started this, apart from the fact that you want to go to Africa?
Yes. So I did something similar to this before COVID. I went to Greece, and I had an idea that I wanted to take clients with me. So I ended up doing that. And one of the things, as Sandy mentioned in the beginning, is it's all about relationships for both Sandy and I. And a lot of my clients, I get to know them very well. They feel like my family. So I wanted to go to Africa, and I thought, you know what? Why don't I take a small group with me as I go and explore Africa? But also I thought it would be fun to share this adventure together. So that was the main reason. And it's getting, you know, when you go on a trip with, you know, people that you talk to often, you get to know them even better than you knew them before. So it's just enhancing that relationship. So that's the main reason that I wanted to put this together and take a journey with some of those people that I've worked with for a few years, or quite a few years.
Yeah, and I think what you're also trying to say is that people you've worked with for quite a few years are actually friends. We talk to you more than we talk to our husbands or our fiancés. So thank you so much for everyone for joining us. Okay, I'm going to dig in. Why Africa? So I think we've learned over the last year that we all want to be traveling. Some of us might not be ready, but we all want to travel. And I think Africa kind of nails everything on the head in terms of what we've experienced the past year. So wide open spaces. This is actually one of the views on the itinerary that we have put together for you tonight. So this is in Ambasili National Park, which is in Kenya, and it is on a huge private game reserve, private. So only the guests of Tortillas Camp actually are able to traverse in this 350,000 hectares of land with Mount Kilimanjaro in the background. I mean, you can see how wide open it is. You're out in the middle of nowhere, but natures are all around you. So, you know, we've all been craving birds and being outside, and what better could you have than being out in the middle of nowhere and then elephants coming to visit you, or maybe giraffes in the background. I think nature really does hit your soul and brings us all back down to earth a little bit. Obviously, some of you, I know Cheryl and Marsha have been to Africa before, so I'd love to hear your comments. But these breathtaking evenings or early mornings, this is actually a sunset in Africa, and we all know that sunsets come with cocktails and gin and tonics and fireside chats and being able to share what we did during the day. Yes, we might have to take different, measures and protocols, but Africa still has those breathtaking moments and those beautiful skies. And one of the things is that you do get to sit around a fire at the end of the day. You get to talk to your guides at the end of the day. You get to converse with other people that have been in other vehicles and brag, oh my gosh, I got to see a leopard today, or I saw the most incredible elephant sighting. So it's those moments that we're craving, and I think Africa really does provide it. Meeting the people, again, you know, mixing with different cultures, being with your favorite safari guide, spending time getting to understand different cultures and meeting new people. We all crave that. We all been sitting on Zoom, or we've all been, you know, talking, me and my husband and my son, and sadly my daughter's at college, but the three of us, you know, I mean, I bet you my husband's pretty bored of me right now. And we want to be meeting new cultures. We want to be meeting new people. And Africa certainly does give us that opportunity. This is actually the Samburu people that are in the Leoware Conservancy, one of the areas that you're going to. There's also the Masai people. I put this in here. It's actually not Kenya, but it is the Batwa tribe from Uganda, which is a tribe that is only found in Uganda. They used to be called the Pygmy people. We now call them the Batwa people. But again, different cultures, different experiences, getting to learn how other people live. I think it's really what we're all craving and desiring right now. Luckily, with this itinerary, Lisa and I talked about where she wanted to go and what she wanted to do. And we have incorporated a lot of experiences here in this itinerary where you get to be around endangered species. Leoware Conservancy, which is one of the stops that you're going to be going to, is one of the premier places to go for breeding. They breed rhino and then send them to around the world or around Africa anyway. They're going to Botswana, some are going to Zimbabwe, they're going to South Africa, they're going to other conservancies within Kenya. So it is a massive success story, and to be part of that and to witness conservation in action, I think is something that certainly I feel very, very privileged to be around, and being in front of these magnificent creatures, as well as elephants, and learning about rhino. In the Leoware Conservancy, they've got wild dogs, so you get to be around endangered species on this Kenya experience, which I don't think you can do. You know, it's just such a privilege for all of us to be around these gorgeous animals. We are guests. We're going to Africa. We are going into these nature conservancies and these game reserves and national parks where we are the guest. It is our honor and our privilege to be in this environment, and being with these creatures, it really touches your soul. I mean, when you look at the paws of a lion male and you realize how big they are, or how big his yawn is, being around the little cubs, or being around giraffes and realizing, gosh, look at how big they are, or the elephants and how tender they are amongst their families. We're so privileged, we're so lucky, and we're so honored to be a part of this experience. And when you go to Africa, as I know Marsha and Cheryl and others have been on the chat tonight, I think you'll agree with me that going to Africa is an absolute privilege and an honor. And I'm so excited for Lisa to be sharing her journey with you. Lisa, we've worked, I don't know, like for 12 to 15 years together. We've worked on all sorts of different itineraries together. We're very, very grateful to you. And I think we have a really good friendship where we get to know each other really well. And I think what Lisa and I did is I said to Lisa, okay, you all know why she wants to go to Africa, but there's also another special reason.
Yep. So a lot of people are probably going to think this is very odd or very strange, but I have cleared it with Ken, my significant other. He is my fiance, and we are getting married in October. So this will be technically our honeymoon. So you are going to be journeying on our honeymoon with us. So it is a very special occasion, but we're both very excited. He enjoys traveling with my clients / friends and getting to know them, because this is a big part of what I do and who I am.
Yeah, so what we did is we decided we wanted to go to Kenya, and we're going in October, and we're going to Nairobi, then Ambasili, which is big time elephant country. This is where Mount Kilimanjaro is just on the Tanzania border. You can see it there, but you get fabulous views of her ladyship when she likes to show herself from the Ambasili National Park. It's one of the best viewings of it. The way that the wind works, it actually pushes the clouds towards Tanzania. So from Ambasili, you get the best views. You get to see giraffes there. I have never seen so many birds in all my life. I mean, the salt pans there are absolutely incredible. So you've got magnificent bird life, as well as hippos. Great, absolutely fantastic hyena in the concession and in the national park. As I said, Tortillas is based in a concession, so that is a great experience where you're in a private area. And then from there, you're going up to Leoware Conservancy, which is in the Laikipia region of Kenya. And that is famous, I'll tell you more, but that is kind of famous for being old stock Kenya farming country. So there'd be livestock there, and all the farmers have combined together to remove the fences and the boundaries and allow nature to come back. So you've got the elephants, you've got the rhino, you've got leopards, cheetah also, lion, you've got wild dog, various other, but it is a private area. And so the game viewing is very, very good in this area. You can't get the public coming into Leoware Conservancy. And then ending in the Masai Mara National Reserve, and that's world famous for being the other side of Serengeti. You know, people think that it's two different parks. It's actually one big park, Serengeti in Tanzania and Masai Mara in Kenya. Famous for, if you haven't watched it, go watch Out of Africa movie. It's a little bit of a love story too, so I love that kind of experience. Okay, so arrive into Nairobi, October 14th. You're going to stay 2 nights at Hemingway's in Nairobi. This is also an opportunity for you to relax after a long flight, but we also do have some activities organized for you. Then you're going to Tortillas Camp, which is in Ambasili National Park. Then Leoware Safari Camp in the Leoware Conservancy, part of the Laikipia region. And then ending at Sand River Mara in the Masai Mara for 4 nights before departing on the 25th of October. So fabulous time of year to go. The weather's gorgeous. I'll just go through a little bit of the itinerary. So Nairobi, we're going to be staying at Hemingway's Nairobi, which is in the Karen region. Karen is where Karen Gables had her farm in this region, and it's called the Karen area of Nairobi. And so there are lots of private homes in this area. It's a lot of gated communities, a lot of great hotels, but there's also fabulous restaurants. There's a lot of local people doing good work for conservation in this area. There's also local people doing artistry and beadwork. So it's a really good arty area of Nairobi. You take the back roads to get from Nairobi, Nairobi airport. So it's about 45 minutes from the airport, Nairobi International Airport. This is this is a view from outside. Different kinds of big gardens. So you can walk around the gardens. They have a swimming pool, but we're going to keep you busy with activities as well. We're going to do the Karen Blixen Museum. So you are going to see all about Karen Blixen, the Out of Africa movie, so to speak. You'll get to learn about how she farmed, where she farmed, her experiences in Kenya. We're going to also be going to the Giraffe Center, which is the endangered Rothschild giraffes. They have 16 giraffes there, and it's an opportunity to spend some time kissing the giraffes, learning about the giraffes, and understanding how we can protect them. And then in the evening, we actually have a special evening for you. We're going to ask you to adopt some baby elephants, and you're going to go to the David Sheldrick Elephant Orphanage. So this is only for adopted parents. You have to adopt an elephant, a baby elephant, but you get to spend time with these gorgeous little creatures and hug and kiss on them.
Hey, Sandy, before you go on, I want to share a little story about a couple that I actually had adopt an elephant. The husband and wife both adopted their own elephant. And when they came back and we were going through, you know, their journey and what they liked and what they didn't like about their journey, the one thing that they both were saying is that the husband said, well, you know, I have to tell you that my elephant was just much cuter than my wife's elephant.
So cute. So here's one of the little elephants. They in the evenings, they come from outside with their handlers outside in the national park, Nairobi National Park, and they come running, and they're so cute the way they run towards their stalls or their beds for the night. The handlers actually sleep with them in their own little stalls, so you get to help feed them, stroke them, be a part of their bedtime routine. I'm just going to go back to these pictures here. This is the Giraffe Center. So it's on the other side of the giraffe manor, and the Rothschild giraffes, you can get to interact with them, feed them, learn about them. Just absolutely gorgeous, gorgeous creatures. So that is part of your Nairobi experience. And then you're going to go off to Ambasili National Park, which is right on the border of Tanzania. There's actually a park on the Tanzania side as well. So it is one big roaming area for elephants, and they love Ambasili National Park. So this is a tented safari camp. You have the awnings on the sides, and you can roll those sides up. During the day, it's wide open. You can have those all closed up at night. And what I love is the hot water bottle coming into your bed at night to keep you nice and cozy. If you're like me, and maybe some of you that have been to Africa, if you want to share, you can open those gauzes, the windows on the sides, and sleep with those open at night. I like doing that because then I can hear all the sounds of the bush, like the birds singing, or the crickets and the frogs, and sometimes you can hear lions roaring in the background, or elephants snorting at you. So there's lots of noises at night, and I particularly like that. But if you want to feel a little bit more like cozied up in your room, then you can leave those blinds down. Again, I said Ambasili, very, very good for elephants. They actually had an elephant there called Tim, who had the largest tusks in the world. Sadly, he passed of old age recently, but Ambasili is very good for big tuskers. So those of you that love elephants and want to see big tuskers, that's how you do it. I learned something recently. If you get down as low as you can in a vehicle or on the ground, you're actually not allowed to do it in Ambasili, but maybe Leoware, you can do it with your camera, and you photograph from the lowest vantage point. You get the most incredible images of elephants and other game. So little tidbit for you there. Very good for other game as well. And of course, they have, there you can see her ladyship, Mount Kilimanjaro in the background. She showed herself. But you get to, they have the Masai tribe here in Ambasili. So you get to learn about the Masai. You can go to their village. You can experience them out in the concession, in the private concession, which is right next door to Ambasili National Park. So you'll do game viewing in Ambasili as well as in the private concession. Okay, so from there you take a charter flight to Leoware Conservancy, which is in the Laikipia region. This is all ex-farming land. So you might still see tracts of land where there are still cattle, but the cattle are kept in a different area. So your game viewing will be done in 4x4s. You're going to be staying at Leoware Safari Camp, another tented camp, a little bit different experience here. So we like to give you 3 different experiences, and Leoware Safari Camp offers really good accommodations, fantastic views, out in the middle of nowhere, and of course, very, very good animal sightings. Being able to be up close with these endangered species, just mind-blowing. I actually have no words to describe how incredibly huge they are and how lucky we are to be able to experience them. For those of you that are wondering how out in the middle of nowhere this is, I think this gives such a great example of being out in the middle of nowhere with nothing else around you. So this is Leoware Conservancy. Meeting the people, getting to experience the cultures. I don't know, I'm from Africa, so I love it. And I know that when I talk to clients, and Lisa gives me feedbacks of her clients, it is really, you go to Africa for the animals, but it's the people that stole your hearts. So I can't wait to share the African people with you. Those little cheetah cubs, all furry. Still furry, don't want to leave the nest yet. Okay, from there we go off to the Masai Mara National Reserve, and Sand River Mara is actually in a little kind of area below the triangle of the Masai Mara. It's called the Sand River Mara section, and you have to have a 4x4 vehicle to go into this area. There's nowhere, you will get stuck in the mud. You cannot traverse it on your own. You can't have those mini buses coming in from Nairobi, which is why I love this part of the world. The Sand River Mara section is because you can't have the tourists coming in their lots of vehicles. It's a very secluded area, and you feel like you're in the middle of nowhere. Again, Tanzania border is just there. So you can see Serengeti, you can actually go across, and there's these little markers, and you can put your foot across. Can't stand all the way across, but you can put your foot across, and so you can say, oh, I went to Tanzania as well. But Masai Mara National Reserve, I love Sand River Mara. This is their tented camp, all very different, a little bit more old school, you know, old English colonial style here at Sand River Mara, but gorgeous, gorgeous property. Very good elephant sightings, very, very good lion sightings. Masai Mara is known for its cats. We actually literally just had a mum and daughter in Kenya. They are leaving Kenya today, and she was staying at Sand River Mara. In one day, she saw, Amy, remind me, but it was hyena, cheetah, leopard, and lion in one single day. But not only that, she got to see cheetahs mating. I have never seen cheetahs mating in my entire life. I think I've been on like 50 safaris. I've never seen cheetahs mating. This was in one day at Sand River Mara. So just phenomenal game viewing in this part of the world. Sand River Mara, very, very good. It is not going to be migration. You might see the very tail end of it, but it's not going to be high season migration. So there won't be, you know, the millions of wildebeest and zebra around. But what I love about this time of year, it's going to be Lisa's honeymoon, but also her wedding anniversary. So great time to be there. But you don't have the crowds as well. So very good resident game. You'll still see wildebeest, you'll still see zebra, but you won't have the big, big crowds with you. So I love this itinerary. We curated it, we put it together. I love it. I was in Ambasili actually in November when I took agents to Uganda, and then I went on to Ambasili by myself, and then Leoware, and it is just a phenomenal itinerary, something that I've actually put together for my friends as well. So I know Lisa wants you to join her.
Yes, I do. I think it's going to be a fabulous experience, and I think we're going to get many different types of experiences by visiting 3 camps. So I can't thank Sandy enough for putting this together for me. I'm very excited about the itinerary. She's done a fabulous job. It's pretty much all inclusive. There's a few odds and ends that are not, which we'll get into that, but so this screen here is showing you, now this does not include the domestic and international commercial flights, because we can't look at those yet. They're not going to be in the computer probably till November or December, but we can take a look at that. But based on everything she's put together, the pricing is there. We can do single accommodations, and Cindy, if we have somebody interested in that, we can supply that. All you have to do is reach out to me, and I'm happy to get the single pricing for you as far as to have your own accommodations, if that's what you want. But I think for everything that she's got in the itinerary, I think it's a wonderful value. And this just gives you a glimpse of everything that is included. It gives you the number of nights at each camp. the touring. And then Sandy, did you talk a little bit about at the camps as far as the guides? One of the reasons that we've chosen these particular properties are the fabulous guys. I think they're guides. I think they're probably the best as far as.
Absolutely. You know, one thing Lisa and I are so passionate about is conservation of the people and conservation of the animals. But also, we want you to have guiding experiences where you get to fall in love with the guides and you get to. I don't want you going to Africa and not finding lions. That's not what this is about. Yes, there are lions there, but we want you to find the lions. We want you to, I mean, some of those guides, they have their binoculars open. Well, I have my binoculars on and I'm like doing the search for all the animals. Can't find a single one. And he'll be like, can you see that funny thing hanging from the tree? And there is a leopard in the tree, like probably 3 miles down the road. He can see it. That's what we want. We want the best guides, and these properties have some of the best guides. I mean, the guy that owns Ambasili, the Torgerson camp, and the Masai Mara camp, he is actually one of the leading safari guides in Kenya. He only does private guiding trips now, but he has taught all of these guides. And being a safari guide in Kenya, you have to go through multiple exams. So that's why we've chosen a lot of these properties, is not only because they have gorgeous accommodations and the food is fabulous, and the experiences of sitting around a fire and talking to the guides and your fellow travelers and laughing about what you saw or bragging about what you saw, but it's the guiding as well. You're spending 3 days with guides at each property. They are so knowledgeable, so intimate. Some of them are Masai, some of them are Samburu people, that you get to learn about them and their cultures. But number one priority is to have very, very good game guides so that you get the best experience in terms of finding all of those gorgeous animals in Africa. So just to triple explain that whilst you are there, the 3 nights at Torgerson, the 3 nights at Leoware, and then the Sand River Masai Mara is actually all inclusive. Everything is included apart from your gratuities, saying thank you to everybody. So I'll just go through that. The exclusions, international flights. So getting to and from Nairobi, whilst you're there, the domestic flights, which are the charter flights, are included. So in Nairobi, there are 2 dinners that aren't included: travel insurance, your gratuities, items of a personal nature, the tourist visa, and the elephant adoption, which is going to give you so much joy, that elephant adoption. So everything else is included in the itinerary. So Lisa and I hope that you'll join her. Lisa, you want to share more about people joining you and asking questions?
Yeah, so I don't know if we want to cover some of the chat that we had during, maybe that will I don't know if people are able to read the chat or not, but possibly we could. But if you are interested in joining me, one of the things that we're going to do as a follow-up is we will send you the itinerary so that you have that. It has all of the inclusions, it has the costing, and it has, pretty much all the details that Sandy has covered. So we'll send that to you tomorrow. But if you have any questions, by all means, you can reach out to me. And if I don't know the answer, Sandy is always available to me. Usually I can send her an email and she usually responds pretty quickly. So I hope you will join me. I'm very excited about this, but if we want to turn it over now, if people want to type questions in the chat box, maybe that haven't been answered, we can answer those. And are there any questions, Amy, that you saw in the chat that maybe we should share with everyone?
I think we touched on it. Marcia asked about the wildebeest, which Sandy addressed, that the migration will likely have moved on, but I did answer that there's resident game. There are wildebeest. I call them lazy. They don't like to do the migration, so they stay around in the mara year round. So there's always zebra and wildebeest that are hanging around. So you will still get to see them, just maybe not the massive numbers.
Marsha, you probably remembered from your experience in Tanzania, but the migration, there are some lazy ones, some that don't come on time and some that get left behind. And definitely the same in Kenya, those wildebeest will still be there. You won't have the hundreds of thousands and the kind of feeling like lots of little ants everywhere, but there are still zebra and wildebeest in the area that are lazy and that just stay year round as part of the general game. But very good lion sightings, even without the wildebeest. I mean, very, very good lion sight. It's March right now. I still think we March. We are, right? March. And yeah, I just said, you know, our mother-daughter just saw hyena, lion, cheetah mating, and leopard all in one day. Just phenomenal game viewing experience.
There is a question which I didn't address, so I'm glad this question came to be, is how large will our group be? So I don't want to take a large group. So I think, Sandy, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, I think I can take up to, I think it's 5 rooms. Is that correct?
Correct. So this is for 10 people with you. And the reason why we've done that is we want to keep you in a little, you know, your own little cluster. Of course, there might be other people at some of the properties, but we want you to take up 2 vehicles. So 6 people to a vehicle, sometimes it's 4 people to a vehicle. So that's why we're only doing 12 people on this itinerary. So,
and then also at the giraffe center and the elephant area, will it be just our group or will there be other people as well?
So at the giraffe center, there will be other people, but we'll we'll take you as giraffes into a little journey of giraffes just by yourselves. Yes. And the elephant orphanage is only open to adopted elephants. It's actually not open at the moment due to COVID. So they are struggling quite a bit, but when you're there, it'll only be open to adopted parents. And I think when I went there were 15 people maximum. The food and the drinks, someone mentioned something about the food and the drinks. The food is absolutely first class, just gorgeous. So for breakfast in the mornings, you'll have something very light in the mornings. It'll be an early start, like 6 o'clock in the morning. So a little bit of cereal and yogurt, cup of tea. There's gluten-free options. You can even have muffins that are gluten-free. So the chefs are very good and they cater to all allergies and everybody's desires. Then you'll go out on your game drive. You'll have a coffee and tea kind of midway through your game drive with maybe some biscuits or cookies, as we call them here, and a little snack. And then you'll come back for a late breakfast at about 10 o'clock. And the reason being why we come back at about 10 o'clock is that's because the animals are now seeking shade and a little bit of shelter, get away from the heat of the day. And so they want to go into, you know, the grasses and get a little bit of shelter. So then you'll have breakfast, a full-on breakfast, and you can have as big a breakfast as you want. You can have normally it's like eggs and bacon cooked to your desire. There's sausages, tomatoes, omelets, so vegetarian options. If you are vegan, obviously there's vegan options. It's all catered to your desires. And then lunches a little bit later, lots of salads, maybe lasagna, cottage pie, something very fresh and healthy and delicious. Everything is so delicious. And then you come in the afternoon, it's tea time before you go out on your game drive. It'll be tea time and you can have all sorts of scones and sandwiches or cake. And then out on the game drive, you'll have sundowners with some snacks. And then in the evening, a lovely meal. It could be a roast, it could be fish, There's normally 3 or 4 different options for you to choose from, but all delicious and healthy. We like to find out in advance if you have any allergies or food issues so that we can make sure that you're well catered for. We did have someone who literally was in Botswana, and a week before she was in Botswana told us that she could only drink almond milk. So, you know, we like to find out in advance, not a week before, preferably, because we had to ship almond milk up to her camp in Botswana. So it's doable. We can make anything happen as far as dietary is concerned. So hope that's helpful to who wants to hear about meals.
And then
Hey,
Sandy, I think you answered this, Sandy, but there's another question is, are there night drives, and do the vehicles have to stay on the paths or roads, or are they free to pursue the animals on the move? Not harassing them, but I guess to follow them.
Correct. Okay, so Ambasili, where you're going, any national park, there is no off-road driving or off-road driving. However, Tortillas is in a private concession. So you can do off-road driving so long as it's done in a strictly conservative way and all about conservation. So they are very particular about looking after the environment, and Tortillas actually manages that private concession. So the roads are well looked after and well designed. But yes, you can go off-road in the concession. We actually went off-road for a long time because there were lion. You know, they don't like to go off-road for things like impala or wildebeest, but when there's lion or cats or hyena, then obviously elephant as well, go off-road for that. But that's in private concessions. The same thing with Leoware, you're in a private concession, so you can do night drives and game drives. Sandra Vamara, in their private concession area, which is not very big, but yes, you can do off-road there. No night driving, but they have permits to go out on late night drives. So we do organize late evenings, not always very late, but it'll be till about 7:30, and then you have to be back at camp. But when you're in the Masai Mara, the game is all around you anyway. So I hope that is helpful.
Wonderful. I don't see any other questions, but I will repeat this. We have recorded this session, so we will post it on our website for those of you who may want to go back and watch it in case you missed something. But also, if you have questions or things that you need, feel free to reach out to me either by calling me here at the office or by emailing me, which I will send you when I send you the itinerary tomorrow. I will send my contact details. So Sandy and Amy and Allison, I appreciate you guys spending some time with us this evening. It's been a pleasure as always. It's nice to see your faces instead of just your voice all the time.
I know, it's so much fun. I feel like I'm in Chicago.
So, but anyway, thank you to everyone that joined us this evening. I'm happy that you spent this little bit of time, and hopefully it was inspiring for you as it was for me. And I guess we'll see you all next time. Thanks again, everybody.
Thanks for joining us, everybody. Lovely to chat.
Bye.